guys were down 13 points in midway through the third quarter, but it didn't seem like there was any panic from your team. What is it about this team in that moment that makes them just kind of go when they're down?
Well, they've got a lot of experience, and we've played a lot of big games, and we've been down in many games, by pretty big margins. So our guys know that we have an excellent defensive team, and we got some explosive scorers. So, 13 points could be, 2-3 minutes. That's how we look at it. And but it all started with our second half defense. We held them to 33 points, and then we just got amazing contributions off the bench. Every single guy came in and made an impact. I could go down the list: Jordan Bell, Quinn Cook, Alfonso McKinney. When Andre went down, played huge minutes, was a plus 24 tonight. We needed Jordan's minutes big time. Jonas hit a big shot for us in the fourth quarter. And then I don't even know what to say about Draymond. I mean, he was like a wrecking ball out there. He was just destroying everything in his path. The pace that he was generating was incredible, and it just seemed like he never got tired.
Kerr Yeager's Portland Tribune. Steve, second half, was it just a matter of playing better, or did you make some adjustments? What was the difference?
Mainly just playing better. It's such a long game. That's the thing you learn. When you've been in the NBA for a while, there's time for so many swings in the game itself, and especially these days. So many 3-point shots taken, a lot of possessions, and so. Our guys know that. They've been through it, and so when we were down, we knew we could get back in it. And again, the defense is what allowed us to do that.
John Dickinson, 95.7 The Game in San Francisco. Steve, you mentioned Draymond, but just the relentless pressure of both ends. I mean, he was getting the ball and just pushing it. Do you feel that constant push has worn the Blazers down maybe as the series has gone on?
Well, I don't know about that, but it set a tone for tonight's game. He was doing it in the first half, which allowed us to kind of hang around when we weren't playing well. And then he did it throughout the second half. And, when he's coming downhill like that, it puts a lot of pressure on the defense in the paint at the rim. And then you've got shooters on the perimeter, and he's a great passer. And so he's got a lot of options. And what I liked tonight was, he only had 2 turnovers. With all the offensive possessions, all the pushing in transition, he made great decisions all night. So it's one of the best games I've ever seen Draymond play.
Steve Metchnam and Barrier News Group. What went into the decision to start Damian, and after he picked up a couple of quick fouls, what'd you like out of Kevon and Jordan tonight?
Well, we liked Damian's size and athleticism, and so we wanted to start the game with a little more, verticality at the rim and ability to cover ground from our big guy. It's a lot to throw on his plate at this point. He hasn't played in 4 or 5 months. I probably threw him out there a little too soon, but it's a good experience for him too. But he picked up the early fouls, and then, with what Portland did, they made some nice adjustments, and the way they played. It was a better matchup for Jordan Bell, and Jordan came in and played extremely well.
Hey, Steve, what was going on with Andre Iguodala in this game? Injury?
He was sore, I think lower leg. He just had some soreness, and he's going to get an MRI tomorrow. So we didn't want to risk anything and put him back in the game. So when we took him out mid-third, trainer said that'll be it for him. So we'll know more tomorrow.
Anthony Slater with The Athletic. You're plus 55 in the second half of the series. How much do you think, kind of, the way your minutes distribution in the series is going, how much do you feel like you guys maybe have the fresher legs in the second half?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear
Plus
that.
55 in the second half.
Plus 35?
55 in the second half in this series.
In the second half, yeah.
You're giving spread minutes all around. Do you think you guys have the fresher legs?
I don't know about that. I just think that our bench is giving us great minutes, and that's been really key for us. Even on the road in a game when we were down 18 points, none of our starters played 40 minutes in a playoff game. So I mentioned the contributions off the bench and the number of contributions, the number of players who came in and contributed. I think that's a real key. We can keep the game moving and really, gain traction in the game when those guys are out on the floor. That fourth quarter run was really key for us.
On your left, coach, front row.
It's Steve Mark, Medina Bay Area News Group. Obviously, Draymond has had a lot of games like this in his career, but do you think this is his best stretch of games of his career?
He's done so much here. It's hard to look back and say what's what's his best stretch. I just know he's playing unbelievably well right now. He's playing with force. He's playing with discipline. He's playing under control. He's not letting anything bother him. Officiating, bad shots, turnovers. He's just moving on to the next play. So from that standpoint, it's as good as he's ever been.
Mark White, NBC Sports Bay Area. What's been the key to kind of maintaining discipline and pressure defensively against Lillard and McCollum in this series?
Well, they put so much pressure on us, and I'm not sure we were that disciplined tonight. We jumped at, I think, three-point shots where they drew fouls, so we gave them 9 free throws. But we're just trying to put, as many defenders on those guys as possible because they're amazing scorers, and you can't stop them with one guy. So we're just trying to have a lot of help defense available, and send fresh bodies in there and do the best job we can.
Colin Ward Henninger, CBSSports.com. Because of the way you guys play, your pace, you score a lot of points, you shoot a lot of threes, and kind of the soft-spoken nature of most of your stars, Draymond excluded.
Most of them.
Most of them. Do you think that the toughness of this team has been underrated over this run that you've had?
Maybe it's just not highlighted, but it's so hard to win a championship in this league. The competition is so fierce, and it's a 2-month journey once the playoffs start. And they've been to the finals 4 times, so that tells you all you need to know about their toughness and their competitive desire.
Steve, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. With Kevin Durant out, everybody's called on to do more. But in Draymond's case, does Kevin's absence affect him, especially in the way that he's able to initiate, to run down the floor the way he was doing tonight?
I think the biggest thing is he has the ball in his hands a lot more. With Kevin out, it's a guy who was averaging 34, 35 points a game in the playoffs when he went out. I think, the best player in the NBA right now, Kevin Durant. And so Kevin obviously is going to have the ball in his hands an awful lot. So he goes down, and all of a sudden that changes the responsibility of a few different players. It provides more opportunities for the bench, but it puts the ball in Draymond's hands a lot more. So you can look up the usage rate on one of those websites and figure it out. Ethan probably knows.
Steve, Jeffrey C. Arnold with the Oregonian. Steph really took over early in the fourth quarter. Did you get a sense that maybe he sensed that this was an opportunity to really kind of put them away in this game, in this third game?
I think we all sensed that. We've been down this road before many times. We've been up 2-0 quite a bit, and I don't think we've been that great in game threes over the years. And that's all we talked about the last 2 days was we have an amazing opportunity to seize control here. And so I think that's what this was about, was respecting our opponent, knowing the magical run they've been on, how tough they are to beat in this building, and understanding that this is the game. You know, you come up here for two. The first one is the one you want to get, because if you don't get the first one, the second one becomes much more difficult. So I think our guys understood the sense of urgency and played that way, especially in the second half.
Last question, front row. Steve, following up on that, Nick Friedel, ESPN. When you talk to your team now, up 3-0, if you guys win Monday, I believe you have 9 full days of rest. How much of a point of emphasis will you make that to the rest of the group, knowing what's on the line in Game 4?
We won't talk about anything other than Game 4. You know, what's after that doesn't matter. You know, it may be Game 5. You know, what's after that might be Game 6. So we just focus on the next game ahead of us, and you know, we've got some guys banged up, but you know, we've done a really good job. I'm really proud of this group for playing through a number of injuries that we've had. You know, with Kevin and DeMarcus and now Andre. It's a remarkable group to continue to press and play at this level without so many key guys. So very proud of them. Thanks.